But if I were talking about the unit audio dramas, Vanguard and Earthfall, I do have one thing as my sort of first thing I want to talk about overall the production of these CDs. The opening and ending themes. Okay, I get it. You want to sort of open it and end it like a normal episode, and that's fine. Get your audio in line because I'm listening to the episode and it's going along just fine, and then it gets to the end of the episode and it jumps up about twice as loud for the ending theme, and I'm like, okay, yeah, turn that down.
I I I didn't notice that, and I play it like
Maybe because I listen to it in head. Do you listen in
I
headphones?
listen with headphones because I listen to it on like the bus and shit.
Huh. It always seemed like it was way louder than what I was used to. Um, but then again,
Like, that's the end of our episode. Da, nya, na, 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 na.
yeah. Well, I have semi-sharp hearing, so um, because I've been real careful about my audio levels I allow myself to listen to things at. So
Mm-hmm.
my ears are very very sharp. Uh, even through headphones, I hear things. But so when it jumps like that, anyway. But putting that aside, it's like the all the voices are excellent. They all sound like themselves in this. The
That's good.
Yeah, um, and all the characters. Though I only know really Osgood, and we only know if you've only seen the Doctor Who parts of it, what they've done on screen. I guess you'd only really know Osgood and Kate Stewart. So
Yeah, because I
whatever.
mean they have to add people because
Yeah,
it's
it
their
can't be
own
Kate
series.
and Osgood for
Exactly.
for 8 hours. It's like,
Adventures of Kate and Osgood.
though that would be interesting.
It would be, but I mean, I
Kate
do
and Osgood
like
trapped in a plane for 8 hours. Hey,
Oh, God.
I I do really like the characters they added to it.
yeah, they're all right. Oh, good grief! What was there? There's the Colonel, which we don't
Colonel.
think you don't get much of him, if I remember correctly. He's mostly, you need to be a proper soldier. Stiff upper lip and a little bit of the brigadier in him in that
Yeah,
regard. Um, and then you got
Josh,
Josh, yeah, Captain something
Captain Josh Carter.
Carter, yeah, Captain Carter, and then you have Sam
That
that you get in the
second one.
second one in Earthfall. Um, yeah, they're good. Carter and Sam haven't really differentiated themselves enough for me yet to really draw real distinct differences. Um, they both seem rather uh, bold, to put it
Mhm.
nicely. They both seem bold and whatnot. Osgood is Osgood, Kate's Kate, but those three are basically the new ones. And then we get into the actual plot of it and the 3D printer guy and the
That
Nesteem. Because it was kind of interesting. Is like as soon as you hear yes, she's ordering around these things that are sort of human shaped and robotic. Is like, oh great, it's the Autons, isn't it? Like, and then you're Nest team. At the end of the first episode, they go, the Nest team will do. It's like, I forgot about the Nest team as the sort of puppet master of the Autons. I didn't really remember that. It's been a long time since I've seen Rose. I think that was what was in Rose.
That's the Autons were in Rose, and the consciousness with the
so it's like, considering that's been basically our only exposure to the Autons.
At least as far as no, it hasn't been, because if you remember, Rory became an Auton soldier.
Okay, yeah.
He became the plastic
Centurion.
soldier.
Yeah.
And classic series,
classic had plenty of
especially with the Third Doctor.
Yeah. Well, it may be time to bring them back again. It's been long enough, and the Autons are, if you're going to go with a cheap, sort of a cheap monster in terms of, you just need mannequins. You need people inside mannequin suits.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that cost intensive.
Yeah.
They're kind of intentionally bad because that was kind of the point. The point, not intentionally bad, but because they were cheap. That's how Third Doctor got them. It was like, we need a lot of enemies really quickly, but we can't afford to do a lot of costuming. It's like, get mannequins, put people in mannequins. They are now Autons. Ah, that's nice and cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And we just keep them, and next time we want to use them, we just get the mannequin sets out again, and people just put them on, and very cheap, very easy. Yes, that will do. But yeah, I mean, that might be a one to bring back. I mean, though they've got a lot of enemies to bring back in Doctor Who, because there's probably quite a few that they haven't gotten back to.
They need to bring back the Ronnie.
Yeah, well, Time Lords, other Time Lords, it's been a long time since we had Centaurans. Besides Strax.
They did have Centaurans in 10th Doctor episode.
Yeah.
A 4-piece 10th Doctor.
Yeah, the Poison Sky, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the General Stahl, the Undefeated. That's a bad name. What if you are defeated?
The part of that episode that I remember the most vividly, and anytime I hear somebody's talking about intruders, how'd they get in? Intruder window?
Oh, that was horrible.
It was. That's why it's so memorable.
Yeah. That whole scene of, no, it's a good weakness. Probic vent, back of the neck. They can never turn. It's their one weakness. It means they can never turn their back on their enemies. We stare into the face of death. He just throws up the ball. Banks it off a thing. Hits him in the Probic vent and runs. It's like, all right. Yeah, that was great. That was great. Yeah, we haven't had Centaurans in forever, other than Strax. Nice to see Centaurans again. Yeah. I think Again, they have a lot in the classic Who kind of monster bank to draw from, but
They
it's
need to
always
bring back in the series. They need to bring back the Sea Devils. I mean, they do in one of the audios, but they need to bring it back in
the main series.
main series.
Yeah, well, yeah. There are plenty of things to go with, and we get Daleks all the time. Let's mix it up. Let's have some the occasional Cybermen. We did get Cybermen, so that was nice. But
We get
this
plenty
season,
of Cybermen, dude.
Yeah, now that I think about it, we do have gotten a lot of Cybermen. But yeah, Sontarans. Mix some Sontarans in there. Mix some, let us see the 2018 version of the Rutans. The Rutans.
Rutons. That would be sweet.
What do they look like with current technology? I know I've ranted on before about not liking what they did with the Klingons, but the Klingons actually look good in the sort of warfare of Klingons. They actually look good, and they look reasonable. The Rutans, from what little I've seen of them, were just kind of glowy bits over there.
Yeah, I think we only seen them once in Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah.
And then it was basically just like phosphorescent glow.
Yeah. I would love to see what they would do with the Rutans today. It's like, it'd be an excuse to bring on the Sontarans again.
Are you rooting for it?
Okay, back to Vanguard and Earthfall. So we have the man with the plastic skull, and or at least thinking about it, what if they just made him into an Auton at that time, and they didn't tell him? They just programmed him to think like the original, and he thinks he's the original, and it works for him because he feels his skull and it feels plastic. That's normal, and he's probably not going to be looking for plastic bones or anything, so he may be programmed not to think about that and go, yeah, I am this guy, but he's actually a puppet of the Nestine consciousness. Like,
well, he is a puppet of the Nestine consciousness anyways.
Either
way,
yeah, they're controlling him through the technology they're giving him to sell off to.
They're controlling him through the plastic brain, through the plastic skull. They're using that as a conduit to control his mind.
Okay, well, they haven't revealed that yet, so. Spoilers!
No!
All we found out was that that he did have a plastic skull. That was all that they ever said. Was that, from what I know from right now, the way they were controlling, way it looked like they were controlling him was through. They would give him the technology, he would sell it, and in exchange, he would make money, and they would gain power. And he would help them distribute what they needed to take over the world. So, but anyway, which makes you go, okay, he's sending 3D printers all over the world. These are going to become printers for Autons, aren't they? Every single one of them is going to turn on and start producing Autons. They found some way
I
to
mean,
make
they
them
better
all out of
be
plastic.
pretty big 3D printers.
Well, I mean, they could
Well,
produce.
I mean, they mentioned that they can produce medical equipment and full scale things. So they're pretty big.
If nothing else, they can produce. They can probably produce, little drones that could assemble the pieces for them. And just like, okay, this produces an arm. The little drone goes up, mixes it up, attaches it, and then climbs up inside the head, and roots there, and then starts assembling its brethren as they come out, and it starts to stack up the autons. It's like you have an artificially, a plastic race, and you have 3D printers everywhere. What do you think's going to happen?
Right?
Let's just hope, just hope and pray that you did not refill your 3D printer on the day they turn it on.
Well, I mean, they're probably not that tough. I mean, send them to Texas and it'll melt.
Oh, that just makes me laugh so hard because, like, they try to print off an auton, but they scale it by how much is left in the 3D printer. So you end up with like a foot tall auton because that was all that was left in the printer.
It's like, fear me now! Oh, you're so cute!
That was all that was in there. Was like, okay, it scales it. Like, okay, we want to produce as many autons as possible, so we need to scale, our production. So if one's a little short because we were slightly lower in that printer, that's fine. We can have that one load more material in. So you end up with this. This guy barely had any in his printer, and just like this little one runs out of it. Runs over, grabs the replacement tube, pulls it out, puts it in, starts producing, then starts assembling full size ones on the ground because he can't stand up that high. You see him walking into battle, and you have these big phalanxes of autons, and this is along the side are this little march of little ones running as fast as they can because they can't keep up with the big ones because their legs are so short. Or just marching at the back. Whole block of really short ones. But those would also be useful because then you could throw them in mail slots like they have on some houses. Just toss them through mail slots and they go turn on. They go refuel the 3D printers if they didn't have anything in them. Just go, and then run off.
I don't want to say anything because spoilers.
Okay. Then I may be a little more predictive of this thing. Oh,
Oh no, you're not.
Okay. Well, insufficient information to predict things, so.
Of course.
But
Insufficient data. Please try again.
But mine is much more funny because it includes 1 foot tall autons.
It is definitely more humorous.
1 foot tall autons. That's what we need for it to be funny.
Yeah, 1 inch would be even funnier.
Yeah. Well, there's a minimum height.
In your case.
But then you have
No, like 1,000 1-inch of them.
yeah.
Like, attack!
You just imagine Carter's holding out against the autons with some sort of weapon, and then this little one runs in underneath the whatever he's taking cover from with, and it just like starts kicking him in the shins. He just picks him up, throws him back at his compatriots. It's like, no, you take him. But anyway, so yeah, in speaking of insufficient data, we don't know quite what the reflective thingies that they keep throwing down onto Earth and spreading everywhere quite do yet. But I suspect that has something to do with aligning the 3D printers or something like that, or being master controls for them. I find it curious that Mongolia doesn't want to cooperate with UNIT. That seems
They
interesting.
they had a bit of a negative thing with the whole Algoi Korokoi thing. Mongolian deathworm. That was a joke.
Okay.
Mongolian deathworm. It's a cryptid.
Okay. Bit out of my depth on that, but yes, and it and you know you've got a villain. You know, it's like, well, is he, is he just being, what side is he on this? Does he really not know, or does he know? Good or bad. You can always tell because the first thing that they do to really establish a villain in Doctor Who is they kill one of their own companions just to go, you're no longer useful, or you have too much information that I don't need anybody else to have. Goodbye. Maximum destruction.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you will die. Okay. Well, you're a villain, aren't you?
Poor Gold. She was so loyal, and then
Maximum destruction. Yeah. Oh, you heard the name Auton was not produced by us, and that it wasn't actually. It's an alien thing. Yeah, you've had contact with the youth unit. We can't let you poison the minds of our other underlings. So we have a stack of U's. So we'll just pull out another one, and we'll make them my little hedge person.
Minion.
my little minion who will do as I bid. But yeah, I mean, for as much as it's been 2 episodes, not a lot has happened. We've had it's been a lot of introducing the basic elements and running around the world chasing fallen shiny things for the most part, other than fighting that alligator, which was sort of out of nowhere.
It was like to introduce the main characters.
Yeah, I suppose they don't want you to, if you are not initiated into the fandom and don't know who Osgood and Kate are, and you need to, or you want to, and also to introduce Carter, to give Carter a quick introduction as well as the Colonel. Sort of, it's just, these are, if you're unfamiliar with these characters, this is who they are. This is their basic flavor, and they're going to go fight an alligator creature or crocodilian, and give him a headache, and then he's going to go on his way.
It also lined it up so that they were facing the right way in order to actually, spot.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But
so that they don't sneak under the radar.
But yeah, it's mostly been, sort of explaining. Okay, the Autons are starting to try and do this and do that. Oh, here's this and who's that? And okay. And we're gonna go on a worldwide chase to get this and such. And yeah, unit needs more bases everywhere for these sorts of things. They need a bigger budget so they can put more agents in the field for just such an occasion. Because I imagine this isn't the first time that aliens have tried to just use the fact that unit is a very small group to a smaller agency to smaller than what they. Well, yeah, it's global, but in terms of from what it sounded like, they didn't. They didn't really. They had teams that could do things, but they were stretched thin trying to take care of all these little things. And imagine it's not the first time that an alien has just tried to a attacker has just tried to instead of trying to take one part, create a beachhead, and move out from there where they can focus everything, they just drop it everywhere and then say, chase it. Essentially, we're going to throw time bombs. We're gonna throw time bombs everywhere, and you have to deal with it. Meanwhile, we're gonna go over here, laugh maniacally, and work on furthering our plan. While you're busy trying to disarm all of our time bombs. But
I mean, unit has a budget too.
Yeah.
Everybody has a budget.
But
some more so than others.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all right so far. I think we're probably on the cusp of getting into some sort of meat of the thing. We've kind of got everybody or kind of introduced, and we got the ideas sort of set. So I imagine over 3 and 4 we're going to start to get into the meat of it and actually start to move the plot along a little bit. It was all right for, it's just insufficient data to really, put a big stamp on it. It's all right. They're good, but great. Well, that will depend on, how good the future stuff is, and the next few things are. But anyway, that's about all I had to say about it. I didn't write anything down formally, but I think we had a nice little discussion about this.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
I don't want to spoil things, so.
Okay.
It's probably really hard for you, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, you're just trying to go off of what I say because I have no spoilery information. I just have what I have. So if I say something, you know it's been revealed.
Yeah. And I'm just like...
Kind of, but not really, because we find out this in the next episode or something like that.
Pretty much.
But, yeah. If you like Doctor Who, if you like Osgood, if you like Kate Stewart, it's good so far. But, again, 2 episodes in, can't make a big judgment on the entire sort of ordeal. Okay.
Sam is best pony.
Sorry, what?
Sam is best pony.
Oh God. Anyway, I guess that's it for our Vanguard and Earthfall review for the moment. We'll see about next week. Heading off to.
Better. Somebody had done their homework.
I farted.